the holidays are coming and you guys may be searching for a gift idea. So, one interesting and really personalized gift idea that you can give to your close friends who are into makeup is handmade makeup. So, I'll be doing a series on how to make your own cosmetics so you can create the personalized gift for that special someone in your life. Today, I'll be showing you how to make matte eyeshadows, and the same formula can be used to make matte blushes as well as contour colors. So let's get on to the tutorial. If you're shopping for materials to make your own matte eyeshadow, I recommend TKB Trading. I love using TKB Trading because they allow me to buy sample sizes of all their colors. And honestly, for personal use, a sample size is more than enough. Their sample size is 6 gram and the average eyeshadow is 1.5 gram. So I don't know how many eyeshadows you go through in a year, but 6 grams is more than enough for all my DIY needs, and that's why I love going to TKB Trading. And their pigments are really cheap. You can get them for as cheap as $1.50 for 6 grams, so it's very worth it. And I also really love the TKB Trading Matte Texture Base. This is my go-to. Yeah, I did not know how big 1 pound of powder will be. So when I ordered, I thought like, yeah, 1 pound, that should be, maybe this much. Yeah, I'll get 1 pound. And turns out 1 pound of powder is really huge. Was not expecting this, but yeah, I've had this for 3-4 years. I'm still not through with it yet. And if you want to make matte eyeshadows, the easiest base to use is the matte texture base. It's basically TKB Trading's blend of mica, titanium dioxide, and magnesium stearate. So why do you need a base? Pigments on their own, you can try wearing the pigments as eyeshadows. They're not going to work because they tend to be very gritty and they'll fall off your eyes really quickly. Even if you try pressing them, if you don't add a base, most likely the results will be crumbly and horrible, and it's not that great. A lot of people have the idea that the more pigment there is, the more pigmented the color will be and the better it is, but that's simply not true. The key to a good eyeshadow formula is just finding the right balance between pigmentation, slip, and adhesion. Slip will be how slippery the eyeshadow feels. Does it feel gritty against your skin or does it glide on smoothly? Adhesion is, does it stay to your skin or does it, get patchy and just fall off and streak all over your skin? And of course, pigment is how colorful and pigmented it is. With every formula, you'll always have to give up one in favor of the other, so it's about finding what works for you. Mica adds slip, but personally for me, I like adding silica microsphere to add even more slip. It just gives your eyeshadow this beautiful glide. I even use silica microspheres on their own for a setting powder. It just feels so beautiful and velvety against your skin. For adhesion, sometimes what I like if I'm not using this base is I like L-lysine coated mica, so it makes it very sticky, but of course it is a palm oil derivative and some people are not comfortable with that, and I understand. I mean, I'm from Indonesia. Our palm oil companies are there. Well, yeah, there's always been issues with our palm oil companies. I mean, I think palm oil in general, it is a messy industry. Anyways, if you're not comfortable with it, TKB Trading has a bunch of treated micas and you can just experiment with them and see which one you like. There's several ways of adding adhesion. What I like is magnesium stearate and titanium dioxide. Titanium dioxide does whiten your pigments. That's one of the bad things about it. And magnesium stearate, sometimes I find out that the color doesn't seem as vibrant as before. But then again, as soon as you add anything to pigments, it does become less vibrant. If you're just making a matte eyeshadow, this is really the best base I've discovered. I've experimented with trying out my own formulas, but turns out this is the easiest and the best results I've gotten. So I suggest if you're a beginner and you want to make your own eyeshadow, just stick to the TKB Trading Matte Texture Base. As for the pigments, one thing I like about TKB Trading is that it states whether the pigment is eye safe or lip safe. If you're making eyeshadow, obviously you want pigments that are safe to use on your eyes. When you're browsing through the pigments, you'll soon notice that sometimes it says suitable for all cosmetic uses in the EU, not suitable for the US. And you're wondering what the heck is going on, so can I use this or not? The answer is it depends, because some pigments have gone through the testing procedures to be approved for use in all cosmetic uses. That means lip, face, nails, eyes, but they haven't been tested in America. So because of that, they're not yet FDA approved to be used for cosmetic use in the US, while they're already approved to be used in the EU. And it's up to you whether you trust the European Union more or America more. Totally up to you. Just do whatever you're comfortable with. Personally, for me, I live in Asia, so I think the EU regulations is good enough for me. So if it's approved in the EU, it's good enough for me, and I dare use it on my eyes. So first of all, put on an old shirt, because you're going to get pigments all over you. It happens. So just put on an old shirt that you don't mind getting stained. And also keep your hair off your face. I figured I might as well curl my hair while I'm keeping it off my face. And you'll also have to wear a mask. First of all, because you don't want to breathe in the dust. Second of all, you don't want to sneeze all over your makeup. It's gross. So put on that mask and put on your latex gloves so that you keep everything clean. Now to the part that I always find a pain. You have to clean your workspace, sterilize it. I can't find my alcohol spray, so I'm using my tiny alcohol wipes. These are actually used to clean the area before you get an injection, so it's not the most efficient way of cleaning my desk, but either way, it gets the job done. Next is cleaning up my spoons. If you notice, I have these tiny measuring spoons. I used to buy big ones, but then I realized for personal use, I don't need that much makeup, so I've stuck to the small ones. So for this tutorial, you're going to need your pigments and the TKB Trading matte texture base, spoons, a container for your eyeshadow, and Ziploc bags. If you don't have a container for your eyeshadows, you can keep them in the Ziploc bags. Totally works. Don't worry about it. So these measuring spoons, if you can't find them, you can always steal some of those plastic spoons from your nearest coffee shop. So don't worry about it. These are great, but not completely necessary. Now let's put in TKB Trading's matte texture base into all the Ziploc bags first. I'm doing 2 scoops of each. Now, just adding the pigments in. In general, dyes are really, really, really pigmented, so I find that you need a smaller amount for the color to come out. So the right amount will be 2 parts base to 1 part dye. And to figure out which pigments are a dye, just look for the numbers. So if they say red number 27 or blue number 15, as long as there's a number, usually it is a dye. Dyes are so pigmented, but they do tend to stain your skin, so that's something to watch out for. So yeah, 2 parts base, 1 part pigment for anything containing dyes. Now for ultramarines, I find that ultramarines get very, very crumbly and they are a bit fickle to work with, so I normally like adding more base. Yeah, the color will be less vibrant, but at least I can work it better on my eyes. So I'm going to also use 2 parts base to 1 part ultramarine. For the oxides, here I have titanium dioxide. I find that all the oxides, they're not as vibrant as dyes, but they are less likely to stain. Because they're less vibrant, I usually do 1 part base to 1 part oxide. And that's what I'm gonna do this time. Now that you've mixed the pigments and the colorants with the base, that's when you just squish and mix it in the Ziploc bags. You want to really grind the oxides into the base just to make sure you don't have any crumbly hard parts. Of course, if you're trying to mass produce the eyeshadows, this is not doable. Your arms are gonna get so tired. So what I suggest you do is get a coffee grinder and just mix everything in. For me, again, these are for personal use. I only need small amounts, so I can always just settle with squishing it in a Ziploc bag. Once you're done with all the squishing, it's time to pour out and see your results. This is my favorite part. Again, because this is for personal use and I'm no longer touching my raw ingredients. I'm only touching whatever I'm going to use on my own. I've taken off my gloves. If you're making this for somebody else, keep the gloves on, keep the mask on, do not take them off, keep everything clean. Now I have 6 different colors here with me. Time to test out whether they work well as an eyeshadow. If you're making this for somebody else, please just with a sterilized spoon, take out a little bit and then you test it. Right now, due to luck and familiarity with the pigments, all of them are working great for me and I really like the pigmentation, slip and adhesion, so there's nothing else I'd like to change. But if, for example, you find it, say, gritty and streaky, then you may need to add more base. If you find it too sheer and like it blends to nothingness, you may need to add more pigment. Also, if for example you find it too tacky, it starts streaking all over you, maybe you want to add in a bit more silica micronosphere. And if you find that, it just slips away to nothingness, you may want to add in magnesium stearate. Just figure out the right balance between the ingredients and do whatever works for you. Personally for me, I like things easy, so I'm only playing with either the base or the pigment. That's it. Now that you have your 6 colors ready, can you make other colors using these eyeshadows? The answer is yes, and it's very, very simple. All you have to do is just grab any color you want and just start mixing. Let's grab this one and this, and let's close it and just keep shaking, 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 and voila, you have a new color. And you can keep doing this until you get the color you like. That's it. Thank you everyone for watching, and my next tutorial will be on how to make your own highlighters as well as shimmer eyeshadows. My videos are usually out every Wednesdays and Fridays, 9 p.m. Jakarta time. That's GMT +7. I may be taking a break closer to Christmas, so the videos may come a bit more rarely, but I promise at least one video per week. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!